Good morning, grade 6. How are you, my dear students? Today, inshallah, we will start a new unit, Unit 16, Probability. Topic 16.1, the probability scales. You can follow this in your course book, page 152 and 153. Our objectives today is to use the language of a probability to describe and interpret results involving likelihood and chance, understand and use the probability scale from 0 to 1. Probability is how likely something is to happen. You might also hear it called chance. Working out the likelihood of something can be difficult, but mathematics will help. Probability is the branch of maths that measures how likely it is that something will happen. In this unit, you will learn how to calculate and use probabilities in simple situations. Probability or chance is how likely something is to happen. If something has a low probability, it is unlikely to happen. If something has a high probability, it is likely to happen. The language of probability. Words such as likely, unlikely, and certain are used to describe the chance that something will happen. Sometimes a result can be associated with a number from 0 to 1. For example, here, certain. It's certain that the sun rising tomorrow, inshallah. Right? Even chance. Even chance getting tails when you toss a coin, because when you toss a coin, you have two choices, right? Heads or tails. So half for the heads and half for the tails. So it's even chance. Unlikely. It's unlikely rolling a 6 on a dice, because number 6, it's one of 6 numbers. On a dice we have 6 numbers. So rolling a 6, it's 1 out of 6. So it's unlikely. Impossible rolling an 8 on a dice. Why? Because we don't have number 8 on a dice. So it's impossible to rolling an 8 on a dice. As we say, probability is a branch of mathematics which deals calculating likely outcomes of a given event. It's expressed as a number between 0 to 1. On a probability scale, an event with a probability of 1 can be considered a certainty. An event with a probability of 0.5 can be considered to have equal chances of occurring or not occurring. An event with a probability of 0 can be considered an impossibility. An event that is unlikely to occur will have a probability between 0 and 0.5. An event that is likely to occur will have a probability between 0.5 and 1. Now let's do this together. Match the labels to the correct place on the probability scale. The first one we have likely. Where you will put likely on the probability scale? Between 0 and 0.5 or between 0.5 and 1? What do you think? Yes, excellent, between 0.5 and 1. Unlikely, where we put unlikely? Yes, excellent, between 0 and 0.5. Certain, excellent. Impossible, where we put impossible? Yes, it's on 0. Even chance? Excellent, it's on 0.5. Now let's see if you can put these percentages also on the probability scale. 100%. 100% means what? Impossible, unlikely, even chance, likely, certain. What do you think? Yes, it's certain. That means 100% this event will happen. No chance. That means what? Impossible. 75%. Where we will put 75%? Excellent. Here it's likely. 50%. Where we put 50%? Excellent. It's even chance. 25%. It's unlikely. Excellent. Let's do this example together. Gita has this spinner. What is her chance of spinning the numbers in the boxes below? Match each box to the correct word. The first box we have an odd number. Look at the spinner. How many odd numbers we have? Yes, excellent. We have two odd numbers, 3 and 5. And how many total numbers we have? We have 4 numbers, 6, 4, 5, 3, right? So 2 out of 4 are what? Are odd numbers. So what do you think? What is the chance she get an odd number? Yes, she has even chance because 2 out of 4, that means half of the numbers are odd numbers. That means even chance. To having 2, what do you think? 2. We have 2 on this spinner? No, we don't have 2. So what is the chance to have 2? It's what? Impossible. Excellent. A number less than 10. Look at the number of spinners. All the numbers is less than 10, right? So that means it's certain that we will have a number less than 10. Use the words to describe the probabilities of the events below. We have this question from your course book, page 153, question number 2. A. A newborn baby will be a girl. What do you think? We have only 2 choices, right? Boy or girl. That means what? That means even chance, right? So what do you think? Where is even chance in the probability scale? Yes, it's on D. A plane will fly from New York to Hong Kong in 2 hours next week. Do you think this is possible to fly from New York to Hong Kong in 2 hours? So what do you think? No, it's impossible. So it's A. C. A dice will show 2 when it's rolled. In a dice we have 6 numbers, right? So 2, it's 1 number out of how many numbers? 6 numbers. So 1 out of 6. So what do you think? Yes, it's very unlikely. There will be an earthquake in Asia in the coming year. What do you think? Yes, it's certain. So it's G. Let's solve another example. These marbles are hidden in a bag. The bag is shaken. Let's pull out 1 marble without looking. A. Which kind of marbles is it most likely to pull out? B. Explain how you know. Look at the key. What do you think? What's the most likely marble we have in this bag? Yes, the white, because there are more white marbles than any other colors, so it's most likely. Sometimes words aren't enough. We are mathematicians. How can we be more accurate when we're talking about probability? To be more accurate, we express probability as a number. As we say, the probability that an event will happen is a number between 0 and 1. The probability for an event which is certain equals to 1. The probability for an event which is impossible equals to 0. Probability can be expressed as a fraction, a decimal, or a percentage. How to express probability? Probabilities are most commonly shown as fractions. For example, the probability of getting tails when you toss a coin is a 1 in 2 chance, or we can write it as a fraction half. The probability of getting a 3 when you roll a dice is a 1 in 6 chance, or we can write it 1 out of 6. Now, can you tell me what the probability is as a fraction? Number 1, what is the probability of rolling a 4 with a dice? In a dice, we have how many numbers? 6 numbers. 4 is 1 out of 6. So we write it as a fraction 1 out of 6. The probability of rolling a 4 with a dice is 1 out of 6 numbers. Number 2, what is the probability of rolling an odd number with a dice? Tell me, in a dice, how many odd numbers we have? Excellent. We have 3 numbers, 3 odd numbers. 1, 3, 5. So these 3 numbers out of how many numbers we have in dice? 6. So 3 out of 6, or we can write it 1 out of 2 after we simplify this fraction. Number 3, a bag contains 7 buttons. 3 of them are green. What is the probability of picking a green button from the bag? Total numbers of buttons we have 7. How many green we have? 3. So the probability of picking a green is 3 out of 7. Number 4, a bag contains 3 red and 5 green marbles. What is the probability of picking a red? Tell me, how many marbles we have in the bag? Yes, we have 8. How many red? 3. So it's 3 out of 8. Probabilities can also be shown as a decimals or percentages. The probability of getting tails when you toss a coin is a 1 in 2 chance, or 1 out of 2 as a fraction. Or we can write it as a decimal 0.5, or as a percentage 50%. A probability of 3/4 can also be shown as a decimal 0.75, or as a percentage 75%. Now let's solve some examples. Can you tell me what the probability is? Number 1, what is the probability as a decimal of getting heads when you toss a coin? When we toss a coin, we have heads and tail, right? So it's even chance. Even chance means half, right? So half as a decimal is 0.5. Number 2, something that has an even chance of happening has a probability of what percentage? Yes, 50%. Number 3, a bag contains just 5 buttons, all of which are blue. What is the probability of picking a red button from the bag? All the buttons are blue, so we don't have red, right? So it's 0. Number 4, a bag contains 4 white buttons. How many black buttons must be added so there is an even chance of picking a white button. What do you think? Yes, 4. Now we have example number 1. United and City are two teams. The probability that City will win their next match is 25%. The probability that United will win their next match is 2/3. Number A, which team is more likely to win their next match? B, show the probabilities on a probability scale. First, we will solve A. Which team is more likely to win their next match? United is more likely to win their match. Why? Because 25% is quarter, right? If we convert 25% and write it as a fraction, it's a quarter. And quarter is less than 2/3. So United is more likely to win their next match. B, show the probabilities on a probability scale. First, we will draw the probability scale and we will put 0, quarter, half, 3/4, and 1. This is the probability scale. Then we will put also 1/3 and 2/3. We have City is quarter because it's 25%, and United is 2/3. So now we have the probabilities on probability scale. Now we have example number 1. We will solve it together. If I had a bag containing an apple and an orange, what is the probability that I will pick out the orange? Tell me, in my bag, how many fruits I have? Yes, I have 2. So the orange is 1 out of 2. So what is the probability? Yes, it's 1 out of 2. Or I can write it as a decimal, 0.5, or as a percentage, 50%, and I can put it on the probability scale. I can circle 0.5 even chance. Now it's your turn. It's impossible that Ethan will take a red sweet from which bag? Bag number 1, bag number 2, bag number 3, number 4, or number 5? What do you think? Yes, excellent. It's bag number 4. It's unlikely that Ethan will take a red sweet from which bag? Unlikely. Bag number 1, bag number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5? Unlikely to take a red sweet. What do you think? Yes, it's from bag number 1 because it's 1 out of how many sweets we have in this bag? Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 1 out of 7, so it's unlikely. Now, who wants to solve this question? It's even chance that Ethan will take a red sweet from which bag? Even chance. What do you think? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5? Excellent. It's bag number 2 because we have 3 red and 3 what? Green. So it's even chance. To check your answers, this is the answer key for your course book, page 153.